Welcome to Paige Family Homestead. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, start over.
All right. Okay. Okay, welcome to Paige Family Homestead. Here's an update for you today on the cancer treatment.
It's been a rough week, eh?
Yeah, it's been just too much information that you got one bit of information and all of a sudden they change it on you again.
Well, that's the thing. Last week they changed it on us.
Yes.
And then we got used to that.
Right.
We got used to you not taking your chemo because he was actually in stage 3 kidney failure and cusping on stage 4.
Yeah.
And then you got your kidney surgery.
And I got the kidney surgery,
and
I've got energy again. Like, it's just, wow, it's unbelievable.
This guy, today's what, Saturday?
Yes.
He had chemo on Thursday. You wouldn't know.
5 hours.
Compared to the treatment he had before he had his kidney stint.
Yeah. So far, it's been easy. It's not too bad. But they had to give me 2 bags of magnesium just to help my kidney along more. And it's helped. It's brought the numbers down.
It was at 475.
Which is bad. The higher the number, the better. The lower, the bad.
A week after his stint was put in, it's down to 178.
Which is great. And now I've got to take magnesium pills twice a day, 2 twice a day, in pill form, which is good. Now they also called us and they've made a new plan.
Well,
they can't give me
the neurologist.
Yes.
No, the radiologist who we haven't even met yet.
Right.
He called you.
Yes, and he gave us the news that they're not going to do the surgery because they don't think I would survive the surgery because of my COPD, my heart, and my it could give me a heart attack, or a what is it called?
Respiratory event.
No, for my brain. What's
failure?
It called?
A stroke.
A stroke, yes. And because they said that kind of an operation would be like running a marathon, and my lungs can't do that. They won't be able to do it. Mm-hmm. So the best way is that they figure they've got a game plan. All 3 of them have been talking and figured this out. What they're going to do is go back to the way they originally planned on doing it. Not originally, but the way they're doing it now is I'm going to go through the chemo, and then after this round of chemo that I have here, then I go to Kingston every day for 6 weeks, every day, weekends off, to get radiation and chemo. Radiation chemo for 1 day, and then the rest of the days, Monday, Tuesday, probably Wednesday, and then chemo on Thursday, and radiation,
both.
and Friday, and Friday, and then so I get both.
I think your chemo's going to be changed from Thursdays to Tuesdays when you go to Kingston because I didn't want to lose our oncologist. We have a good rapport. Andy loves him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, really good guy.
So the 3 oncologists take turns going to Kingston on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So every 3rd Tuesday we will see our own doctor. The other 2 will keep our doctor updated.
So I guess I lay on a couch and they just beam me up, Scotty, with one of these radiation laser beams.
We were quite upset when we first got the news because it was the radiologist who told us, and he was quite shocked that we hadn't heard yet from the surgeon or our oncologist. But the oncologist is busy, and we had an appointment anyway, so he probably thought he would talk to us then.
Yeah.
I think the radiologist just kind of shot the gun a little early. Jumped the gun. Shot the gun. But we were upset because, what do you mean you're not taking my bladder? Now they're not taking the bladder.
They're not going to take the bladder out.
However, the radiation is going to shrink your bladder as well.
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of issues with every 30 minutes having to go to the bathroom.
Like now?
Like now.
And then also, it could form another kind of cancer, they were saying. So I don't know. But they're going to keep an eye on it.
They know that radiation can cause another type of cancer, and they watch for it. And you're going to be on a strict watch afterwards. Now, they did say in the event, he did say, we're doing this treatment for long-term, what do they call it? Remission.
Yes, into remission.
it's not being done as in palliative care. So they haven't given up. So Andy's not giving up.
No.
And if at the end of it all, after all the radiation and chemo, if the tumor and the cancer are still waving a flag, then we're going to sit at the round table again and bring the surgery back onto the table.
But I don't think it would be as
to see.
invasive.
Well, I think you're going to have lost a lot of weight by then, if
Probably.
that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to go to Kingston now every
Every day.
single day for 6 weeks.
And
So
that's an hour drive.
So I right away panic and think, how are we doing this? How are we getting him here? How do we afford going to Kingston every day, gas and parking?
Parking's crazy.
We're human. We're gonna grab a coffee on the way.
Hey.
Lately we've been bringing them. Can't get into ours in
Yeah.
town anyway. But how am I gonna do this? So I got on the phone with a few agencies. One of them suggested the Cancer Society volunteers, that they can do drives,
Right, yeah.
pick him up and drop him off. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That would be great.
We'll do that. But because of
COVID.
COVID, the volunteers are in short supply, so they can only offer that program 1 day a week. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's now 4 days that we only need to worry about, right? So they also suggested they could get us a hotel room for 1 night a week, which means he could have his treatment, go to the hotel, wake up, do his treatment, and then go home. I'm not leaving him at a hotel by himself, sick. And I can't go with him because we have dogs and we have chickens. And we're kind of on our own. I know in a crunch I can ask a friend to let them out or let them in, or a neighbor. But then we have our dogs too. So we're coming home.
Right.
And we also had the option of, well, we can house the dogs for you. We can put them up. There's volunteers where you can kennel your dogs for when you're in treatment.
Yeah.
Andy and I,
Our dogs are our family.
they're our children. One is 13, one is 12, or is it
Yeah.
12 and 11? They're old. They're
Yeah.
spoiled. They're set in their ways. It would do them in for us to take them to a strange place.
And there's enough stress here with me on this.
We don't
need them
that.
having any problems.
So that's our choice. I mean, options have been given to us,
Yeah.
but there's real life behind. Oh, you're tapping.
Yeah.
See, nerves are on edge here. That's our choice, but real life happens, and things still have to be paid, and dogs still need to be groomed, and chickens need to be fed.
Like
and
today, for
eggs
example.
collected.
Today, for example, my right rotor, my right caliper on my brake was seized up as well. So I took it over to Clint. I bought a caliper and new brake pads. So Clint, my good buddy, he replaced the whole caliper
All day.
all day and put new brake pads. Then he went to the other side because the pads, it's a set of 4 pads for each tire in one box. So we did both pads, and now it works great. But before
We were
it was
driving.
like pulling a trailer all
yeah,
the time.
we were driving to Kingston like that.
And you
'cause
could smell
we
the
had
burning
no
of it.
choice. We had the smoke from the brake pads coming in through the air conditioning
You could see
vent,
it come through the vent,
and it's
like a
like,
smoke. Whoa.
that's
that's
asbestos.
asbestos.
Right.
That's all we need.
Let's
that kind
drive
of
to
cancer.
cure cancer and get cancer, and get better, right?
So he did that for me. Didn't charge me. Just get the parts, Andy, and we'll do it. And he's a good friend. He's a really good friend. Great guy. Did a fantastic job on it.
No
and
more
it came out of
stink.
his family time that he did it. You know, he had his granddaughter down, but he did that. So, hell of a guy. Hell of a
But
guy.
it's nice, we don't have to worry about it
Yes.
anymore.
That's
You
right,
know,
yeah.
so we should see a change in the gas.
Yeah.
We had a quarter tank of gas, and you put how much? 50 into it, and it took us to half a tank.
Yeah.
Going to Kingston and back, that's gone. Right? That's gone. So,
yeah,
like,
easy.
yeah. But you know what? I'm slowly learning to let go. Just what's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, I have to be a little bit proactive because I have to make sure that he doesn't have any worries at all on how to get there and where, you know, like, I don't want him to stress. So I'm jumping the gun. His radiation isn't going to probably start for another 3 weeks
Yeah.
or 2
And
weeks.
there's a month and a half right there of it.
So I'm going to do my damnedest to put more money in the bank to cover it, because I want him to know when he gets up and looks at his calendar where he's going that no problem, we can get there, because he's got healing to worry about. So, you know, I keep trying the different organizations and groups. I still have to meet with one person. He showed up at our door. I'm not sure what agency he's from, but he was here when we were in
chemo.
Belleville. He was getting his chemo. I'm going to show you a clip. I wasn't going to because, oh my God, it's horrendous. It was 31 degrees outside. I was sitting in a parking lot. I actually had heat exhaustion when he come out. Michelle has always drummed into my head, because I make Andy a chemo bag, right? Like, I make sure he's got lots to drink, and he's got maybe crackers or with peanut butter or the zucchini chips, something nice to snack on. But I never think of myself.
No, I know.
So Michelle's always telling me, make a chemo bag for Peggy and put some lawn chairs in your truck. So I did, and when I was in the truck,
well, you put a lawn chair, you didn't make a chemo bag for yourself.
Didn't make a chemo bag, but we didn't really think you would be getting chemo.
No, I know, we didn't know for sure.
Well, we really kind of didn't think you would, because we had just gotten the news about the radiation and no surgery, and you had just gotten your kidney stent, and even though I could see the difference in him immediately, we just kind of figured they were going to give him another week. So I went with them for the appointment. I go to all of them. And I actually got to go upstairs and speak with the oncologist about the new game plan. And then I was asked to leave because we're doing chemo today. And I thought, oh, cool. And she says, but your magnesium numbers are starting not to do well again. So we're going to hit you with magnesium. I know what that means. 4 hours.
4 to 5 hours.
Well, it was 4 hours for magnesium, and then roughly almost an hour for your chemo.
Yeah.
Did they do both at the same time?
Yeah, they had one coming in, then the other one.
And then
they do a flush.
A flush. So yeah, it takes an hour for the chemo. But you were in there 5 hours.
Yeah, it was 5 hours.
So...
And she's out in the hard car.
I had a coffee.
And it was 32 out, 32 degrees
but
out there.
I was sitting in a parking lot. And so I thought, okay, I got my lawn chair, right? I'll just grab my coffee and go walk around and see where there's shade. There was no shade anywhere. Not around the building. There was no shade anywhere.
And when you pay to get into the parking lot, you can't go out because we never had enough money to get back in again.
And pay for parking again. So, and I don't like to leave the hospital area because the security guard, I ran into the hospital. I snuck in. I begged him. I said, I need to get something to drink, or I'm having fantasies about ice cubes and mud puddles. Like, I was dying of thirst.
Mud puddles.
So,
with ice cubes.
You get desperate, trust me. So my eyelashes were dripping. You'll see. But during COVID, I'm not allowed in that hospital. He was nice enough to let me in because there was no appointment for me to go to. So I went to the 3rd floor tuck, got myself an iced tea. And when I came back down, I looked around in the waiting rooms to see if there was a quiet waiting room. I would just sneak in there and sit. They were all full. So I knew I'd get called on get out, right? So I found a wall with plaques on it with names written, you know, and people pay $100 to get their name on the wall. You know what I mean? So I stood there reading the names and just stalling because it was air conditioning and it felt so good. Yeah. And the security guard's like, Peggy, I said, I know. Out back I went. This is what it's like during COVID with cancer. Your caregiver is allowed to go into the hospital while the patient is in a conference with the doctor. Thank God, because he just wouldn't remember. It's too hard for two people to remember everything that they throw at you. But then when it's time for his chemo or his magnesium drip, I have to leave. The magnesium can take 4 hours. The treatments are usually 30 to 45 minutes for chemo, but he's getting both today. It's 31 degrees Celsius here right now. The humidity index is quite high. I'm dying. And of course, our car windows are stuck. They don't go down. I have a friend who's going to fix it when they come down. They live 7 hours away. So I've got the back windows open and I jump out of the car now and again to cool down. It's not undoable. It's doable. I'm not suffering greatly. It's just freaking hot. But I just hope he's able to enjoy. Here's me without a tissue again, and I'm sweating, so I'm going to use his ugly mask to wipe the sweat off my face and tell him not to use it when he comes back till I wash it. It's hard being out here when he's in there. It's not nice. So a lot of appointments. We have a change in his treatment, and I'm going to let him tell you that in the update. Some of it's good, some of it not, but we're being positive. So I'll let him update. Oh, and the heat hit you in the face. Like, oh man. So back in the car I go. And now, a friend said, well, why didn't you go sit outside of the car in your lawn chair? Yeah, on a parking lot.
Which controls the heat even more.
Even hotter. And I didn't want to burn gas by running the air con.
She was so hot.
I did a few times. But I don't like to leave because there has been 2 times where I've been out there and he'll phone me and say, get up here. They said you can come up because he had a private room. Or the doctor wants to talk to us. Or I'm going to have a phone conversation with another specialist. They said you can come. You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm down the road chilling in a Timmy's or wherever I can get into, then I'm missing that opportunity to be there with him, with the doctor. So I stay. But I come home and I just threw my head under the sink, cold water, and let it run for like 10 minutes with the well water.
Under the tap. She put it under the tap because under the sink's where all the
Did I
pots
say
are.
under the sink? Then I jumped in the shower. No hot, just cold. And as soon as I get out, you could see steam coming off the top of my head. Yeah. So I know now. I'm gonna listen to Michelle from Real Life with Michelle and Rob. See, I said it right. I am putting a small cooler out there before we go into his next appointment, and I will have in there some water, some juice, ice, what I wouldn't have done for an ice cube. I tell you, it was, and the iced tea that I went and got, it wasn't cold.
Oh, really?
No, she had just filled her fridge, I think, but I didn't care. It was wet. But it kind of shows what it's like, because as I'm looking around the parking lot, I'm not the only person sitting in a car. I'm not the only person waiting for a loved one inside, and it's really hard for people.
It is. It's
because of COVID. That C
if
word.
you have a mask on, what's the difference? You got a mask on, you're covered.
I'm safe to go in if I'm sitting in a room with my husband and the doctor, but once the doctor leaves, I'm bad.
You're contaminated, even with that mask on.
So
this is the silliest system I've ever seen.
So we have a big hurdle in front of us. I'm gonna run the GoFundMe link on the videos that Michelle and Rob made for Andy, and I feel embarrassed asking. but it's so needed for gas.
Oh.
I'm just,
And the
I
prayers
just
are
want
working.
gas. The prayers.
Prayers are working.
Come on.
My God. No losing my bladder.
Never mind the bladder.
Yeah.
Your kidney.
And my kidney,
You didn't.
yeah.
Those prayers saved you from having the external bag.
Don't tickle.
He's got a stint, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know more now than ever that prayers do work. I mean,
Yeah.
this man's been cut a few breaks already.
Thank
So,
God. Thank God for
yeah, but look at his color. Look, he's not gray.
that. No,
He
the
has
last
energy.
time I couldn't look at anything.
No, he's
Right now, it's
like
not.
that right
I've got
now.
energy too. It's with this.
They did change your chemo.
Yeah, they
You're no
changed it,
longer
yeah.
on the one you were on.
Oh, that was
They
hard.
gave him one now that's less invasive to the
The
kidney.
one I had before gave me 2 days of night chills, and they are horrendous. That cold at night, and it's warm as heck. I had to have the aircon off, no fan on. I put
Your
track
winter
pants,
coat.
and my winter coat on, sitting on the couch, and she's sitting there.
Two
Oh my God.
blankets and 2 blankets. Not even kidding. His
It's just
winter
that deep
coat
of a
and 2
cold in you.
blankets. And
Wow.
I'm sitting there with a fan, a hand fan going. Eyebrows are dripping wet. It was hot. He was cold. They say how you react on your first treatment is pretty much how you can base your whole treatments
I'm glad I
by.
did. This is
We're
okay
starting
right
all
now.
over because it's
Yeah.
not the same chemo.
No, it's not because of the kidney. Yes.
There's no diarrhea right now, touch wood. There's no
No.
feeling nauseous. His appetite.
It's
He
a
had
little bit
1.5
better.
tuna sandwiches. I couldn't even get him to eat a quarter of a tuna sandwich before.
Yes.
Like his appetite's good. He's still down 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And
I'll probably lose a lot more.
Yeah, you will.
Which is good.
Kind of
because-
God's gift to have some extra weight on you now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Absolutely.
So there's where we stand. There is no surgery. The bladder is going to be shrunken. There's going to be issues. Those of you in the medical field know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it, but life, right?
Yep.
And at least they said if the chemo and radiation don't work, then they have other options. And the oncologist said we're starting to gravitate to that in that direction. We're starting to learn that taking the bladder as quickly as they take bladders out is not always the best solution. They're trying now to do first with chemo and radiation and then leave the bladder extraction for the last resort.
Yes.
So if it comes
I hope
down
not.
to the cancer's not gone and there's nothing they can do, then it's 50-50 on the table.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can go in if they've shrunk it enough
A
to
different-
remove
yeah.
just the tumor and
Not a 7-hour
the
operation,
bladder,
right?
right? We don't know.
Hopefully they don't do it awake like the other one. Whoa.
No, I don't think so, baby.
Eyes wide open. Oh.
That was like
Oh.
local. But,
Yeah. They didn't tell me that. Else I knew I was going in. I figured I'm going for sleep.
Eyes wide
Nope.
open.
You'll feel a pinch. What?
But
no, I won't.
It was that doctor who determined that stage 3 kidney failure. He looked at Andy's stats and he saw on the ultrasound that he did that he could do the stint safely and without putting him under, because he didn't even want to put Andy under for that little surgery
Yeah.
of the bag and the
Well, like I said,
hose.
once
He
you're
didn't
under,
want to put him under that rest.
your breathing is labored. And,
So when he said,
Wow.
I'm not even putting him under for that procedure, the bladder surgeon reevaluated everything and they spoke with the
oncologist.
the guy who puts the gas on, anesthesiologist,
Yes.
and they both said no, he's not a candidate any longer. They really said they didn't feel he would get off the table. Well, we don't want that.
We don't want that. No, I don't
So-
want. I'd like to live.
Now we've got 6 weeks of daily radiation.
Yep.
And The radiation's only a 30 minutes. So every day, 4 days, we drive down there for a 20-minute procedure and come home. One of the 5 days will be a 5 to 6 hour day because they're going to get chemo, radiation, and magnesium. Yeah. So one day I'll bring a lawn chair, have my cooler, and I will go sit by the lake. It's beautiful down there.
Well,
Just
at least
beautiful.
in Kingston you can get that breeze off the lake. It's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to falls too, so it's not going to be as bad. The heat.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Thank you for keeping me company that day, Thursday, the 5 hours off and on. You were right there with me the whole time. Thank you. Thank you very much. I kind of needed it.
And we want to thank everybody out there for the prayers and all this, and for everything.
Please.
Just wonderful.
And the watch
What a community.
time.
What a beautiful community we have out here, eh?
We're getting cards and letters, and I meant to have them all
It's
here
uplifting.
to hold them up. I got a stack of them over there. When I get my brain working, I'm going to get some thank you cards, but they're very appreciated. I've still got 4 letters from Bev Urban Homestead to read. I'm saving those for my Kingston trips. I read one. Each one is like 20 pages long.
20 pages long.
I know what she's doing and I know why she did it, and I thank you, and you're a sweetheart. Deb's Way sent a card and it bounced back. I'm trying to, when I get a minute, go through every one of our videos and back out the post office box number. We gave that up. They wanted $198
for what?
For the P.O. box.
Oh yeah.
For a second year. So I said, that's 2 trips to Kingston, you know. To heck with it. People want to send something, just give me a message. I'll email me at Paige, Paige, @gmail.com, and I'll give you our address. The cards and letters brighten as day, big time. Deb's got sent back. She sent one, we got it.
Yes, thank you, Deb.
She sent a different one, but it was to the first time, I think, was to the P.O. box. It's the same ladies that drive the mail to my house, or to the street down at the end of the road, to the mailbox thingy. They sent it back instead of just bringing. I thought, oh, but yeah. Yeah. So that was. She sent it back out, and we did get it.
We did get it, Deb.
It was a beautiful card. They're all beautiful. I'm missing people. There's so many. Like, they're all underneath the cutting board over there. I didn't want to lose them, so I got them stacking. It's just people are running our playlists for us, and it's making a difference. We actually got a little paycheck from YouTube last month, and it's gonna make it so we could get to Kingston and back for one day. You don't get paid a lot on YouTube, but we gotta pay. Thank you. Every bit helps so much. I've had people, Heidi Joe.
Heidi Ho? What?
Heidi Joe.
Oh, Heidi Joe. Heidi Ho. Sorry.
A subscriber and turning into a very dear friend. I had a nice chat with her. I don't even remember if it was today or yesterday. I can't remember. She said hi at the wrong time. Blah, 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 right? I just vomited information at her.
Well, you need that. You need somebody to,
It was quite early in the morning. Michelle wasn't awake, so I hit poor Heidi. Thank you, Heidi, for being my ear. I don't even know what to say anymore. We just get used to a treatment idea and a plan, and then start praying on that one, and then, you know, it's switched up again. Not COVID, sorry. Although with all the hospitals we go into, I'm surprised we don't, especially Kingston. I mean, it's apparently COVID central, but
yes, Kingston is.
Yeah.
I've got my 2 shots. Peg doesn't.
I'm going Tuesday. I don't want to. I'm being honest. It's my choice.
Hey.
I chose to do it for Andy because there's going to come a time. I know we're going to go into a lockdown again in November. I know we are. Or by November. I mean, I just know it. So
it's predicted.
That means
They've
I'm
got a
going to get
crystal
locked
ball.
out of the hospital, and hopefully by then it's slowed down. But in the case that it's not, I don't want to be told, I'm sorry, you can't come in as his caregiver because you don't have your shots.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Tuesday to get my second shot, and I'm doing it with tears running down my face. I do not want it. I'm doing it against my will, basically. It was suggested to Andy, and we have a friend who's going to curse this up and down, and oh well, your choice. But it was suggested to Andy that he should get him both because it could very well down the road delay treatment, and I'll be damned if I let this COVID crap delay his treatments, right? So
we don't need that.
Suck it up and doing the jab. Even though I don't want to. Even though anyway, that's my personal crap, right? So I'm getting it Tuesday.
Maybe.
You're yawning.
I was.
We're boring you, so we must be boring.
No, you're not boring me. I'm just a little drained, that's all.
I
Not
can't
bad.
ask you all enough to please keep those prayers coming.
Yeah.
And
We really appreciate it. They're working. They are working. Right?
yeah. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
doing a lot better. You're
Yep.
doing a lot better. You're a lot stronger right now.
Yeah.
Now that you're not in kidney failure. Go figure.
Yeah, no kidding.
So please
You got one thing, then another thing attacks it. Oh my God.
keep the prayers and the watch time. If you have a device on the wall, a TV or a computer screen that's not in use, please throw up a playlist and let it roll. And Michael, his name is Michael, and he has the In God We Trust icon beside his name.
Right.
Michael. Thank you. I think he's working on his third round of our 300 plus videos, and he's pretty much commenting on every single one of them. And it actually, when I sit down to do comments, I'm slow and behind with them, by the way, because I get a lot of joy, and I read them to Andy. We're uplifted by the comments, but it's just a lot of information, and it's all cancer stuff, and it makes me cry. So I comment on a few and then step away from it for a bit. But it's uplifting. It's encouraging to read the stories of, we were given 6 months 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's keeping us going. So please don't stop because I'm being a suck ass, right?
She's not being suck ass.
Yeah, I am. That's what you get for making me love you so much. So it's not great news that, he's at risk. So that part of treatment is being denied him. But they have a game plan, and they've assured us that it's
and we're going to win this.
for recovery, not for palliatives. So
yeah, we'll win it.
yeah, we're going to win it. And we're going to win it because you guys are praying. And thank you for the prayers. Thank you so much. And we'll update you
As we
another
go on.
time.
Yeah.
And also coming up this week, do you remember a while back we did the preserving of the eggs in line?
Right.
It's time to crack them. So we're going to
Yeah, it's time to get cracking on that.
we're going to cook some up and do a taste test with the fresh egg and that egg, and I want to whip one up and see if it makes a meringue. And it's time for us to do this. Why? Because even though it's only been like 6 months, we're going to do it.
It shows that they can be done.
Well, if we don't mind the flavor or the texture, we're going to start doing it now.
Right.
Again, because we have 11 birds. We were getting 11 eggs a day, every day. Every 7 days a week, we were getting 11 eggs.
We were lots of eggs.
Down to, one
They're
day
down
we
to
had
6.
5.
Yeah, 4
Today,
actually one day, 2.
Yeah.
Today we got 7.
So it's time to start
Yeah, preserving them.
So let's
For the
see.
winter. For
But
the winter.
before I do that, because I still got all the lime, right? I mean, we bought a big bag.
Yeah.
I have
all you
enough
could
to
do.
last us into the next life. But if it works well, then we'll be doing it because
And
I
I've
got
got
to
a-
stop giving them
yeah.
away and start saving them, right?
And I've got a
Stop,
barbecued one
Suki.
coming up.
Yeah, you do have a
Yeah,
good
but I
barbecue.
can't eat it.
Why?
I probably, yeah. But it's good.
I'm gonna
That's
make
good.
you something on a barbecue, but I can't eat it. Ugh.
You can look at it, but I can't. You're gonna like it.
I'll
But
taste
I
test
You
it.
can do the test.
I'll taste test it. You goof. Thank you again, everybody.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Keep the
Thank you very
messages,
much.
keep the comments coming.
Yes.
I read them. I read them. I read them. I'm working on getting faster with replies. I went to process 60 pounds of potatoes today, and instead I found myself processing
cabbage.
4 cabbage and some corn. So
And beans.
I don't do anything I set out to do. I always get turned to another direction. Yeah.
So if you like this video,
Please
give us
give it a
thumbs up.
thumbs up. Ring that bell.
Don't forget that notification bell. Am I in the right spot? Ding, 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 ding.
And you watch, it's going to be black. I don't know why. I don't know what I
don't
did.
know.
It's just Windows editing, video editing. Windows Video Maker.
Anyway, we'll see you next video. Don't stop.
I don't stop. Bye.
Bye.
Prayers, please. Please, prayers.